Hey guys, feeper here back with another video for you. So I recently uploaded our first Draft League match versus Bai, and I wanted to take a quick second after the fact. I know we unfortunately lost, but I wanted to kind of look back on it for my own sake, just to see where we could have played better, and offer just some post-game analysis and some sort of a little bit more of an in-depth look as to what we were trying to do, what our game plan was, where we could have made a couple better plays, because I think there were definitely a couple turns where we kind of messed up a bit. And while I still think if timer wasn't a thing, we would have been able to win, we definitely should have been considering that, so that's not really a good excuse. But yeah, without further ado, you can check me out live over at twitch.tv/feeper7 for some Monster Hunter and Pokemon content. And of course, leave a like and subscribe if you like this kind of video. And with that, let's get into it. So, in terms of our team compositions, we really felt like they were going to lead Togekiss. So that's why we wanted to lead Drapion, because we felt, okay, we can taunt it and potentially taunt a Trick Room setter in case they bring it. And then if they don't have a Trick Room setter, or we don't feel like we need the taunt, we can just threaten Togekiss with a crit cross poison. That's why we brought Drapion. And then we also felt that a pretty tanky Rillaboom, like very tanky Rillaboom, I should say. Well, not very, but very pretty tanky Rillaboom with fake out support, and then we could always swap him out the next turn if we wanted, was sort of the way we wanted to go. So we kind of settled on that lead to try and counter Togekiss, which they didn't actually end up leading at all, so it kind of backfired, but we really felt like they were going to lead Togekiss. So that's kind of what we were going for there. As I said in my last video, we have Masharna as sort of like a Trick Room answer. We don't bring it in this game because it's very obvious that they're not going for Trick Room. My camera's kind of in the way, but the other Pokemon that Darky has are, he has Tentacruel, Togekiss, Cottony, and Mamoswine are his four. So Mamoswine and Cottony are kind of covered by my camera. And then we have Dreadnought, because honestly, we were like, I don't think we bring Raichu. And we weren't going to bring Komodo against Togekiss. So that's pretty much why we had Dreadnought. It actually turned out to be really good, but when we were planning, we were kind of just like, we'll just bring him and see what happens. Rotom Heat we felt was pretty necessary in this matchup. He hits a lot of their team for super effective damage, so we kind of wanted to trick his Choice Scarf onto something that doesn't want to lock into a move. Like, honestly, if we could trick Snorlax into like Belly Drum or something, that was one thing we were thinking of, but it didn't end up really mattering. But I think maybe we should have just gone with Specs Rotom. That was another thing we were thinking of, but it's fine. That was our plan with Rotom. And also we have very fast Wisp if they lead a physical attacker. Again, we could Wisp Snorlax if we wanted to, and then switch Rotom out. That was kind of the play. We brought Scyther because they don't have like any flying resist, so we were just like, all right, well, I guess we'll just click Dual Wing Beat. And then we have Focus Sash Gengar, another way to threaten Togekiss and also just get some good damage because they don't have any ghost resists. And then Clefairy, we could have dropped Clefairy for, we were thinking about bringing Drift Bloom instead of Clefairy, but we felt like Clefairy might be nice just for some redirection and even like mid-game support with Front Guard, but we don't actually end up bringing it. So let's get into the actual match here. So they lead Goodra Tentacruel, which was not something that we were expecting. We weren't expecting Tentacruel to come out in this matchup at all. But I pretty quickly discerned that it was Bulldoze on Goodra. And it was Weakness Policy Tentacruel. Because like, why else would you be reading this? And then they're going to max guard or max ooze into Rillaboom. But since we have so much special defense investment and AV, I knew we could take a hit. I wanted to prevent the Weakness Policy, and then we were honestly just hoping for a crit turn one onto Goodra, which didn't end up happening. The Dynamax is what we expected. We knew that if we could get through their Dynamax and conserve ours, we had a really good chance of winning. Or if we could get rid of Togekiss and then Dynamax, we had a pretty decent chance of winning. So our plan was never to Dynamax in the first turns. The Fake Out comes out. And then that confirms that it's, well, I guess Goodra's actually faster anyways, but yeah, you can see Rillaboom kind of takes that like a champ. I mean, granted, like he still took 50% of its HP, but it's a super effective attack. So, and then there's the cross poison. I don't actually think a crit would have killed, so it was kind of a bad turn. Maybe we should have swapped Drapion out, but honestly, Drapion at this point doesn't. He's kind of just dead weight, so we were fine with just kind of letting him die. But now we need to switch out Rillaboom because he's not going to live another hit. And we felt like we needed him. We didn't want to send out Rotom because he just... Again, we really felt like he was our win con. So we were like, all right, I guess we just send out Dreadnought. It's not going to... Even though it's +1, he's not going to take a ton because Rock resists poison. And we know they're going to max Ooze. And I mean, we thought he was going to die, honestly, because we thought they were going to Bulldoze. But they actually... I believe they go for Draco Meteor. Yeah, they go for Draco onto Drapion and kill it. Because they're modest. Oh, I remember that. They do get a crit. But I don't think... I remember running it afterwards. The crit doesn't matter if they're modest, most likely, because it was a 70% chance to kill. I think we crit them back at some point. So I guess it kind of doesn't matter. Yeah, we lose Drapion. It's unfortunate that he didn't get to do more damage. Him living could have been pretty nice, but... That's -1 Goodra. +1 Max Ooze. This Max Ooze actually does, like, no damage to Dreadnought. It only does about 30% on +1. Grassy Terrain goes off. At this point, we're like, okay, let's lead Gengar. Because Gengar... Or not lead, but let's go into Gengar. We don't really want to go into Scyther... In this scenario, maybe going to Scyther actually wouldn't have been bad because we're faster. And we could have maybe just killed the Goodra. But we felt the Goodra was going to swap after it did the Draco Meteor because they didn't get the Bulldoze off. So we kind of wanted to pin down the Tentacruel since it's exerting the most pressure right now. Maybe Scyther would have been better, but we go into Gengar because we know unless they double up into it, it will take 2 hits, in which case Dreadnought can do some damage. I believe this turn we just double protect to stall out their last turn of Dynamax. And I believe they oh that's right. They Draco Meteor Dreadnought and then Max Ooze it. Or no, they Max Geyser it. And we just double protect because we wanted to stall out their last turn. Obviously, in retrospect, you know, Gengar could have attacked and Sludge Bomb the Goodra or something, but I think going for the Protect was the right play. This way, that allows us to... We stalled their Dynamax, and they only picked up 1 kill, and it wasn't even from their Dynamax. And then we felt like we were in a pretty good position. But we needed to... This whole time, we needed to pick our moves faster, I think. Like, it's good to think about what you're doing, but we still took too long. Like, right there, we weren't really going to do anything except double protect. Or wait, Gengar doesn't protect? Oh, Gengar does go on the offensive. Oh, that's right, we Icy Wind to get speed control. I forgot. Yeah, I think Icy Wind was a good play. And then Max Geyser. Dreadnought takes that like a champ. Kind of. Now, we didn't have Swift Swim Dreadnought. We had Gel Armor because we were kind of thinking of using him in Trick Room if we needed. But honestly, even if we were going to do that, we probably should have just had Swift Swim anyways. Because we would have outsped with Swift Swim. 100% with the Icy Wind drop. So, yeah, we really should have killed this Goodra. Well, Goodra swaps out this turn. Because, yeah, we can see I'm looking because we know he has Dracozolt, or he could have Dracozolt, Snorlax, or Volcarona. So he felt like going for Rock Slide was pretty safe. And then I believe Gengar protects here, if I recall correctly. But we feel like Dreadnought can't really die. Or no, I think we do double attack because they have to double into something to kill it at this point. Although maybe... actually a Hydro Pump. Yeah, plus 1 Hydro Pump in Rain would have definitely killed. So maybe we played a little bit recklessly this turn. But when we saw Volcarona come out, we were pretty... feeling pretty good. Yeah, we doubled the Goodra slot because we wanted to make sure we got rid of it before we could activate the Bulldoze policy. Which is interesting that they didn't just go for it turn 1. But yeah, so we take out the Volcarona, so we're feeling pretty hyped. You can see me kind of popping off in the camera. We really didn't think Dreadnought was going to do like anything this game. At least I didn't, so the fact that it picked up a kill was pretty hype. Not gonna lie. believe this is the last turn of grassy terrain. That's where they go to Snorlax. Now, like, okay, so they're probably gonna belly drum, and we know Gengar can't die, and it's the fastest thing in the field. So we know if we double into Gengar or double into Snorlax, we can kill it next turn before it can do anything with belly drum. So we either kill it this turn if we double in, or if they kill Dreadnought, then 2 Sludge Bombs will kill it. So we felt doubling into Snorlax was pretty safe. If they protected on Snorlax, that would be bad. But I still think we made the right decision, because unless Snorlax belly drums, it's really not doing anything, and they already Dynamaxed. So, I mean, yeah, even if it Dynamaxed without belly drum, it's not really doing much. Of course, we never find out what it was going to do. It was probably going to belly drum. And if it belly drums, then it's a pretty big threat, but we decided to double into it. I feel like we definitely maneuvered around our opponents very well. I think we just took too much time. Also, Hydro Pump has a sick animation, not gonna lie. Yeah, we get the Focus Sash, and then we actually can disable Hydro Pump, which is pretty huge. And then Superpower just destroys Snorlax. Oh, we do crit him. I don't think that crit mattered. It's 240 power move. But we crit them back. So I guess that's hype, right? Now they can... The issue is now the Goodra's speed is back to neutral, so it outspeeds our Gengar. I think here maybe we should have swapped the Scyther. We should have swapped Scyther and Dynamaxed, actually. We could have maxed Rockfall for Stealth Rocks. Because it's G-Max Dreadnought. I actually think that would have been a pretty solid play. Because we know they're going to Bulldoze. Although then again, if they do Bulldoze, I mean, Rotom and Scyther just don't care about us, so Goodra's a non-factor. But conserving Gendra, or Gendra, conserving Gengar might have been pretty solid. Actually, I think we protect on Gengar this turn. Do we do that? I can't remember. This game was so long ago. I believe I just go for a Rock Slide. Although we also did want to stall at the rain, so I think we may double protect this turn. I think that's what we do. Yeah, you can see, like, pretty much every turn we're getting down to the last 10 seconds of our move time. And again, it's good to think about what we're doing, but we just took too long. Because we decided on a game plan about halfway through what we were going to do. Maybe we shouldn't have protected on Dreadnought and attacked with Dreadnought. Because, yeah, I think Dreadnought would have lived a +1 Sludge Bomb. Because we resist it. We definitely don't now that it's +3. Oh, that's right, they have Dazzling Gleam. Maybe we didn't live a +1 Dazzling Gleam then. Maybe that was the right play still. We know Tentacruel's moves. We know it's Hydro Pump, Protect. Then presumably Sludge Bomb. I don't think it gets another stronger stab. And then Hydro Pump, or Dazzling Gleam. We know Goodra's locked into a move that can't touch 2 of our remaining Pokemon. So we're like, okay, I guess we just ignore Goodra. We actually shouldn't have ignored it, because I actually really think we should have Dynamax Dreadnought last turn. Because if we set up Stealth Rocks, which chips Togekiss and Mamoswine or Dracozolt really hard, or more so Togekiss, and that chip damage actually would have mattered. Not in terms of like KOing something, but in terms of having enough health so we won the timeout. We should have later on we should have taken out Goodra. But I think this turn we just lose both our Mons, which we're honestly kind of okay with. And again, besides timer, I am still fairly okay with how we played. But I definitely think last turn we should have. I think protecting on Gengar was okay, but I think last turn we should have attacked. We should have Dynamaxed. Because we know they go for Bulldoze, they get us +2, and then we can just max Rock into Tentacruel or Goodra. Yeah, we definitely should have Dynamaxed there. That was definitely a misplay. We set up rocks. We don't die. We probably kill Tentacruel at +2. Now he has to go into Scyther, and I go into Rotom. Because we were going to Volt Switch. I was going to Volt Switch the Tentacruel, and then we were going to Dual Wing Beat the Tentacruel as well, because Goodra literally can't touch either of us. But it actually would have been better to Dual Wing Beat the Goodra and Volt Switch. Because he's doing chip damage to his Tentacruel every turn, so Volt Switch would have killed, even though our Rotom isn't super specially invested. But we're also debating between going to Rillaboom and just faking out and Dual Wing Beating, but I still think going into Rotom was the correct play. Oh, we do go into Rillaboom. Wait, what? My memory is very bad. Also, Shiny Scyther doesn't look that much different than normal Scyther, but... Oh, I remember this now. I meant to go into Rillaboom, and for some reason, I didn't click it in time, so I went into Rotom. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm Rotom. So we're thinking about Dynamaxing, but then we're like, well, we don't really need to, because we know we're faster than both of them. Well, we know we're faster than Tentacruel, because we're Scarf, and it's -2 speed. But and also Goodra can't touch us. But we really should have, like, again, this is another tiny thing. Like, we really should have just Dual Wing Beated the Goodra here, because Volt Switch is killing this Tentacruel with the chip from Bulldoze. And if we had killed Goodra and Tentacruel this turn, then it would be a 2v3, except the two are on one side, and then all we have to do is just... We honestly could have just Dynamax Scyther, even though it's Choice Band, just so we could potentially live an Air Slash. We have Fake Out with Rillaboom, and we can get Speed Control with Max Air from Scyther, so we 100% should have. Done that. We should have killed Goodra here. That was definitely a misplay. I think that was actually the biggest misplay we did. I think Dynamaxing Dreadnought would have 100% been a good play as well, but I think this turn was where we really messed up. Because yes, Goodra can't touch two of our Pokemon, but we need it gone, because it's taking up time. And we need as much time as we can get. And also we have Fake Out support this turn, and they don't have Dynamax, so we can just Fake Out the Togekiss and Dual Wing Beat the Goodra. Worst case scenario, Dual Wing Beat misses, but Togekiss does nothing this turn, because it either protects or it gets faked out. That's a guaranteed safe play, and then next turn we can just max and hit the Togekiss, or we can just Grassy Glide. So yeah, we definitely played this pretty poorly. So I believe... Yeah. Because there's literally no reason to not attack the Goodra here. Like, yes, it does nothing to two of our Pokemon, but again, we weren't thinking about timer. Dual Wing Beat comes out. And there it is, 3 minutes left. Now we really need to start just making our moves fast, but they also see that, and they know that they can just... Like, they basically have won at this point. Also, going for Snarl here was super dumb. I really underestimated how much damage Grassy Glide was going to do. I really should have just Grassy Glided into Togekiss, because it's not gonna... I calculated afterwards, even though we're not super invested into attack, we are adamant with, I think, 92 points in attack, and it's doing with the terrain, it's doing 20 to 25%. And you can see that would have, because we thought it was going to attack Rillaboom, but I'm not sure why we didn't think it would attack Scyther. And also it's Crit Kiss, so snarling doesn't actually matter. And now they can just stall out until the last seconds and hit protect, so we just lose. There's just nothing that we can do at this point. So yeah, I think Dynamaxing Dreadnought would have been good, because then like that Stealth Rock's damage would have made Togekiss dead there. And then whatever the last Pokemon is takes damage as well. That's something we definitely need to think about in the next games. And we also, the turn before, we should have killed Gudra. Because I think even if we kill Gudra that turn before, and then the same thing happens the next turn that happened this turn, I think we still win. Actually, no. Mamoswine has more health than Rotom, so we would lose. But we should have Grassy Glided the Togekiss instead of Snarling. Snarling was such a dumb play. I was too focused on, like, in my head, I was like, okay, I built this Rillaboom to kind of counter Togekiss by putting Snarl on it with AV and a lot of special defense investment and the potential Volcarona. And I got too tunnel visioned on that game plan and didn't think that I should just kill the Togekiss. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the game. There's nothing else to really do. I think there was definitely more areas where we messed up than I thought there was, which is definitely good. That's definitely why you should go back and watch your games, because there's a lot of plays that you don't realize were bad that you that you should look at. But GG's to our opponent once again. Bai played well. I think we played well as well. That did not mean to not mean for that to sound as confusing as it did. I think our biggest misplays were not killing Gudra because of timer, and just we definitely should have Dynamaxed Dreadnought and killed the Tentacruel, because then yeah, we would have been +2. I forgot that Bulldoze would have activated our policy. We would have got Stealth Rocks up. Togekiss would have died to a Dual Wing Beat after the Stealth Rocks, and then Dracozolt or Mamoswine would have taken Mamoswine would have taken a lot of damage, and Dracozolt would have taken a decent amount of chip. And even if they went into Dracozolt into our Dynamax Dreadnought, we could always, I guess we could have actually killed Gudra with Sad Feeper. We could have killed Gudra with our Dynamax Dreadnought, and then that way Gengar may have, but they would have killed Gudra with their Tentacruel, so we would have to do that. But either way, it still would have been a better play. So yeah, because Dracozolt isn't really doing too much to Rillaboom. We can knock off whatever item it has, although it might have been AV, to be honest. But it's not doing too much to Rillaboom, and then Rotom just... And Rotom doesn't dunk on it, but Rotom does fairly well into it. So I definitely think we should have Dynamaxed Dreadnought there, or at least at that turn with the Fake Out, and the double into Togekiss was bad. We should have just killed the Gudra, because we weren't thinking about timer. But that's okay, that's why you watch your games. So I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of little bit more of an in-depth look into what we were thinking and what our game plan was. Obviously, our lead did not turn out to be what we had hoped, because they didn't lead Togekiss or use Trick Room. Although I think we were really caught up on them using Trick Room, and there was really no reason why they would ever go Trick Room against our team, because none of what we have outspeeds them naturally. So there's no reason why they would go Trick Room. The only reason they would have it is to counteract our Trick Room. So that was kind of a misplay on our part as well. I don't think we probably shouldn't have brought Drapion. Honestly, a Raichu Rillaboom lead probably would have been really good, because we could have Area Pulse, 2 Fake Outs. Not that you want to have necessarily 2 Fake Outs, but it would have been nice to break potential Sashes, and then we have Area Impulse to lower special attack and speed control with Nuzzle. So maybe we should have done something like that, but hindsight's 2020. Overall, it was still a fun game, and that's pretty much all I got for this one. So I will see you all in the next video. We have our next game coming up in a few days, so be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to be doing another live reaction video to some music soon, so be on the lookout for that as well. And with that, I will see you all in the future. Have a good one. Peace. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you all in the next one.